Because you can fake for a long time, but one day you're going to show yourself to be a phony.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what these, you know, a lot of people are doing these days. Watch people.
No, you probably won't be here right now.
Blessings, blessings. I got the camera close. Guess that's how we're gonna do things today. I want to say blessings to you guys. I'm gonna get, I guess, up close and personal. Today I'm a little bit nervous, but I think this is something that I have to do. The spirit has been bothering me about this, you know. So what you've seen in our intro is what we're going to be talking about. uh, you have a secret bank account, and that anonymous video a couple of years ago went viral. Okay, it went viral to a certain extent on YouTube, and I was one of the people who, was aware of that particular video. So we're going to get into that, as well as how I was introduced to our secret accounts about 6 years ago. We're going to bring up the main character in that particular situation. This is a continuation from the live I made in my car. So I'm not going to go over all of that information again. I'm going to connect that 45-minute video and I'm going to move forward. Now, I'm going to try to make this about an hour because there's so much I want to share with you. Now, it's so crazy because I just started to look at this particular video I wanted to share with you, and something told me to look at the comments. So I looked at the comments, and then I said, let me look at the most recent comments. Now, there are new videos on this video that's about 6 years old where people are still trying to access their secret accounts. So maybe this is the spirit coming to me to say, maybe you need to, I don't know. I can't rectify anything because I didn't break anything, but maybe I can just tell you my wholehearted experience, because I tried to like disconnect myself from that. But then it's like, I think it makes sense on why Uncensored Enlightenment Talk is so uncensored, because of the things that I was exposed to, and they don't know what to expect from me. But I'm going to tell the truth about this particular situation. Now, you saw the video that we showed. I'm going to show it one more time, put it on the screen. And that particular video was one of the videos that came kind of like 6 months, 7 months into this alleged use your secret account movement that happened about 6 years ago. Now, you know, Anonymous is a big character on these streets. Now, I don't know about right now because I know they kind of lay low. And also, as I talk to you guys, because this is going to be a series of videos, there's a reason why I kind of stayed away from Anonymous. Okay. And it has something to do with this particular situation. So let's watch this video together.
Hacktivist Aggregate Anonymous has discharged subtle elements of a mystery ledger worth billions that is accessible for the general population to utilize. An unknown video manages general society on the best way to influence exchanges from the record to pay off obligations, to purchase an auto or a house. Exploit while you can, however rush before the tip-top erase the video from YouTube, cautions Anonymous. Unknown reports. You are a partnership, your introduction to the World Testament is an agreement. You are exchanged like cows. You are a slave. However, you are a trustee and proprietor of that belief you didn't know anything about, conceivably worth billions. Exploit while you can, while the window is open before the tip-top change it. We suggest simply getting out obligation with this data. You could in principle, with additional means, buy things, yet we exhort, despite the fact that the cash is yours, under your name and information, that you don't mishandle it.
All right. I just want to highlight some of the things that Anonymous said in that particular video. And I'm also going to show you one of the videos that I actually came across first when I came across this information. I can remember traveling. I'm gonna give y'all a story. I remember traveling from Jersey, coming from my family house in the wintertime. That's why I said this has to be God, because it's like the same time frame. And coming across this particular video, we're gonna put it on the screen right now. And this is the person who is supposed to be, I believe, is the star of this particular situation. But what shocks me is that this particular person, hold on one second, let me see. Let me make sure nothing messing up. God be the glory. You know what I'm here to do. I'm here to disclose the truth, but I want people to be safe because I'm going to tell you what really happened. Okay, guys. So this is the video that I came across, and I want you to listen to this information with discretion. We do not support you using this information to access your account, do whatever you want to do. But I want to give you a warning, because with this video, we're going to go down into the comments, and it looks like people are actually starting to try this again. And I know a lot of us are in financially binded situations. So to come across some information like this at this time, it's going to blow up even more than what it did 6 years ago. So let's watch this. This video is brought to you by Harvey Dent. Pay bills using your secret trust account. Okay, this is the same exact video that I came across.
Welcome to the Intellectual Freedom Movement. I'm your host, Harvey Dent, and tonight I'm going to go over how you can pay your bills right now using your secret Social Security Trust account. That's right. You have a Social Security Trust account that is kept secret, that you didn't even know existed. I can prove it to you. Yes, I can. Well, everyone knows what a Social Security card is, right? Yeah, because you got to have this number in order to get a job so that they can tax your ass, right? Well, did you know that this card, this number, is used for a little bit more than what you think it is? It is used to maintain a commercial private bank account. It's like basically a commercial entity, a private bank account in this name on this card, which is the same as on your birth certificate, with this Social Security number as your account number. Now, in order to determine which of the Federal Reserve banks is holding your secret account.
Now, I'm going to pause here because I'm going to put the other video, my original video, and as I talk to you guys about how I used it and how I found allegedly the bank that was connected to me, to my birth certificate, my Social Security card, and it was these particular numbers that they pointed to. So it can make this, what I said in the first video, make a little bit more sense to the people who are just coming across this information. Okay. Now, I'm telling you, this is for informational and educational purposes only of what I'm talking about. And I'm pretty much going to tell you my story about when I used this 6 years ago and what I actually witnessed. Okay.
You're going to look at the number on the back of your Social Security card. Okay, not the one on the front, the number on the back. And you're going to see a letter. All right.
All right. So I'm not going to go deep in it because I'm about to be basically soliciting this same, I call it the fraud. Now, this fraud is brought to you allegedly by Harvey Dent. Okay. Now, this particular
these lenders, these banks, these companies, they all operate in fraud on the daily. So as soon as you sign your name, you sign your signature to that contract, they take that promissory note and sell it. Either right back to the trust account, which pays.
We're going to stop right there. So I want y'all guys to see this, and I'm going to put the link in the description for you guys because this is where it all started for me 6 years ago. Now we're going to look at the bottom of this video before I start giving you my commentary. And what's deeply alarming to me is when you look at the bottom of the video as early as a month ago. Okay. You have people commenting on this video. So it seems like it's starting to pick up. Now, we do have people who are skeptics. And at this time, I'm going to keep it real. When people were saying this type of stuff, when this account came up, I was severely blind. Like, mind your business. You don't know what you're talking about. We're debt slaves. Okay, so listen to this, and there has been some upgrades and changes because of this fraud that has been going on. Okay, I'm just gonna call it what it is to a certain extent. Okay, because this particular situation, I'm gonna be honest, has grown me a lot, and I learned a lot. Okay, it made me go down a yellow brick road that I thought I would never go down. Okay, I've learned so much about nationality, law, status, um, national debt. Reading the Constitution, learning about the Constitution. So, what I will say on the hindsight of everything that I will, disclose to you, I learned a lot. You know, and you should be able to learn a lot from everything that you actually see and encounter without putting yourself totally at risk. Okay. So at the bottom, you see some comments about the music, no such accounts. The back of my card don't have letters. I love you. Thank you for simplifying. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. Creative, collectively holy. Why don't you give the website? Good stuff. I heard that there are many scams that Fed banks or even the Vatican is running off these personal federal accounts linked by selling BCs on the NYSE. Okay, we ain't gonna get all into that because if you get deep down into people comments who go down into the secure party method, they come up with some stuff like it be all over the place. But I'm just not going to judge. I'm gonna mind my business because I'm telling y'all my experience. Okay. Now this particular person, let me put the sailing on the screen. What I'm trying. This is the guy right here. Mr. Harvey Dent. That was the voice that you heard. Now, this is another video of him going in about the Federal Reserve account. So he's calling it the Federal Reserve TDA, or he's calling it the secret accounts. Now, this particular person, let me keep it 100. Crypto news. When we were going through this process 6 years ago, you see this video 6 years ago, I could not stand this channel. Okay, because I felt like he was going against the movement. I felt like he was like just an FBI informant. Baby, okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. And I was a whole nurse, and I'm not gonna talk about that profession, but people think that you should have some type of critical thinking when it comes to stuff, but you never know what you're gonna believe because we have lawyers that do believe this. We have practicing, unpracticing lawyers. We have I had people in the nursing field literally come up to me. It was twice in the last 8 months, and I took it as nothing. When they talk about, do you know we're debt slave, Lashley? Because they kind of know I'm down to earth. So I just see, and they just started going in, and it was like maybe she was listening to something in the morning, and I was so like not into it because I know about it, but I'm like, I'm good. You understand. Yeah, we are debt slave. I kind of went into it a little bit, but I said, be easy about that information. You know what I'm saying? Just chill out, So I really didn't go into detail. So it just bring it more into fruition why I have to go over this information for people. Okay. Because this particular guy who had this channel, I couldn't stand him. I was like, yo, he going against the movement. He's crazy. He's crazy. He's FBI informant. And I'm just going to let y'all know. Some of y'all may think that about me once I start disclosing everything that goes on. But I tell you, I kid you not. What I am is a spiritual Hebrew woman. And I found out my actual lineage through this particular process. We're not going to get into that right now, but what we're going to do is get into the second part of me talking about wire fraud. So let me remove Mr. Dent off of the screen. We're going to keep that video on hand because basically, I believe that this wire fraud case that I'm about to tell you about, I do truly believe that Harvey Dent should have been there. I believe that I'm like, wait a second. These two people are about to go to jail for wire fraud. And this man who was the originator that brought this information out first, because, when I did my little research, he was one of the first videos. And then the second video that came out, let me remove this so I can just bring a face to what I'm talking about. This time I'm bringing some receipts, okay? This one was actually about Heather Ann Tucci. And Heather Ann Tucci and Harvard and Randall Bean, these names is just so weird, okay? They were federally indicted. I'm gonna try to put their picture on, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna show you this video. I'm not gonna show you the video brought to you by Now He Do Like Cryptocurrency. And I'm like, man, you had the nerve to be trying to expose the secret accounts. You mess with them damn cryptocurrency. Half of the damn people broke. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. I already said that cryptocurrency was shady. That was something to put us on the blockchain. That was something to keep, that's in my opinion. I believe that was something that was going to put us on the record, but I'm not my business. But this was his actual video that he did on federal indictment and charges using the social security number and secret TDA account. Now, I have done some videos about my experience about me going to the trial. I'm going to find those videos. I pray to God that I didn't lose them. I think I do have them. But I was really in the mind frame where I wouldn't have had nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? At one point, because I felt like it was keeping me down for some apparent reason. I felt the shift in my life when this after this started happening. And this is what I want to warn you, people who try to use this. You're gonna feel a shift in your life, be it in right physically, meaning you gonna do something stupid when you processing these paperwork and trying to do, pay off your debt that you created with these alleged accounts. Okay. So right here is, hold on. This is the picture. And there's many pictures right now that's still on the internet that will show you this is true. Okay. This was 6 years ago. And I have to talk about, I just got to get off my chest because I was over here really like a little nervous to start talking about this, but I got to just let it out. God want me to, because at this point, if people use this account, there's a precedent set with this particular case right here, U.S. of America versus Heather Antucci and Randall Keefe Bean. I went to this actual trial, and my kids was there with me too. Okay, even though they were younger, they don't know exactly what was said, but they are my proof. I traveled out there, and I was on my way to actually look at some of my investments that I had did through the tax lien process. That was about 6 years ago. That's when I was really starting to learn about the tax lien process that I do, that I invest in. But you can see there's a lot of videos that's up about this, and they're not new videos. So I want you to know that this is not new information. The people that come across this information, I don't want you to think that it's new. It's just a repeat, and they may be giving you bits and pieces of the information, but it's nothing new under the sun. Okay. So this is a picture of actually Heather Antucci. Let me see. Let me put it on the screen. So this is the actual picture of them, Heather Antucci and Randy Bean. These were the two that I saw being prosecuted in the Tennessee federal court because of use of this TDA account. Okay, so now I want to just get to it. I'm going to get to it and tell you about the rest of my experience. Now, this is what happened when I used the secret account. So on the last video, I basically told you guys that I used it for a third time on my mortgage. The same way that video that I just showed you described it. I tried it. It had my social. I used my name. I was emboldened. I just felt like that is my name. That's my social. Something is going on here with my inquisitive self. So I went on actually having conversations with my mortgage company, trying to figure out what happened with the transaction, as I told you. And she told me, hey, go call the bank. And they became annoyed with me. Okay. How it affected me later on to say is that when I went to refinance on my mortgage, like 2 years later, they denied me refinance, not because of my credit, not because of my situation, because I always had a good situation. I never not paid my bills on time, but they referred me to the fraud department. And I was like, okay, that's different. Now I could have been denied for a reason, but when you refer me to the fraud department, so when I tried to talk to the fraud department on what's going on, she was like, well, I'm not really sure. It's like this code on your account. We'll try to find out. And they just would never get back to me. So I started moving forward with another company and refinance with another company. But it did catch up to me in that particular situation using the secret accounts with that vendor. You see what I'm saying? They could not say, oh, she's doing fraud. For some apparent reason, they didn't come at me like that. Okay. What I told you I did, I paid my mortgage ahead of time, and then I tried to use it to see if it worked. Because I'm like, I gotta see if this works. Now I know that ain't a good reason to try it, but my inquisitive ass, I'm like, wait a minute, because I believe that we are debt slaves. I do believe it. I don't know how it's being done, but from my gain of knowledge, I'm going to break down my alleged perspective. You see, because I can't say specifically how it's being done, but I do have a perspective now that I've grown in my knowledge. Okay, so now but let's rewind back before I refinance. So now we have people using the accounts as well. I think it's hundreds of thousands of us, and then something's going on with Heather and Randy Bean. Like they're going live. It was like the FBI was coming down on them, and the names that was being used was so like fake. It seemed like it was fake. Like the lawyer, her lawyer, that lawyer has the same name that YSL lawyer has. I forgot the name. I'm gonna remember it. But it's just a weird name, and I'm like, man, that's a little crazy. But make a long story short, other people were using the accounts and they were getting reversals allegedly. I know I specifically got a reversal. The code that the bank gave me was a reversal. It wasn't, as I told you, it wasn't, the account wasn't, didn't exist. It wasn't like, the numbers went somewhere, but I don't know. So and I told you the mortgage company was pretty too through with me playing games, doing it like 3 times. And then I wasn't bold enough to call the bank. I wasn't like, hey. So I wasn't about to do that. But I did do a lot of research online about the bank. And it was the first Fidelity Bank in South Carolina. I believe that was the one that was allegedly connected to me. Okay. So now it goes on. People are not, they're like, okay, how you use it? You use it for this, you use it for that. And then what they were saying is that you can't use this to get money. It is to discharge debts only. And then you have people who were trying to connect that specific account to transfer it over. It was just crazy stuff. Now, in a particular situation that happened with Heather and Randy is that they purchased some RVs. They also purchased some CDs from USAA Bank. Okay, I remember a lot of details about this case. And what ended up happening is less than 7 days, I believe. I'm just kind of remembering that he liquidated the CDs. Okay. Now, when the reversals came, those CDs monies were transferred and he went and bought RVs. That is where the RVs come in at. Okay. He took that money and he transferred, like, took it right on out. They let him cash it out because this guy was a U.S. veteran. We are talking about Randy Bean, the person that I just showed y'all, a U.S. veteran. Okay. And that's why I say anybody can use this account. Like anybody who's in a situation and, have their skepticism of this system, they could fall victim for this. So he cashed out the money and he went to buy him RVs, and that's where the wire fraud allegedly came into play. Now, where Heather Ann Tucci came into his particular situation, because she did allegedly use the account. She said she was successful, I think, never really showed us proof. In this particular movement, nobody shows proof. Everybody said, you got to research. Remember this, you're going to hear it. You got to research. Yeah, proof is in the pudding. I have shown that with the things that I teach. I'm like, listen, I'm going to show you the proof. I'm going to live it, talk it, breathe it, especially from this movement. Okay. So she allegedly was successful. She didn't show proof, allegedly. And she, when he was getting arrested, she allegedly got on the phone and said that she was his lawyer. Now, what makes this very complicated is if you listen to the court records, and I was in the court, the judge acknowledged that Heather Ann studied law and that Heather Ann Tucci actually was a public defender for a lot of years. They verified her extensive history of traveling the country, speaking these different languages. This was verified through the courts. Judges talking about it, and even the prosecutors calling her basically like she rogue because look at all of this history, and then why would you say this? But I think at the time when she actually made that statement, she wasn't practicing. This is what I'm kind of getting an idea for, not making excuses for nothing. I'm just telling you what I think of this situation as I sat in the federal courtroom for about 2 days. The last day that was the verdict, and I had to go. So, and that verdict was guilty. Okay. But before that, I got to listen to a lot, and it really threw me off. It threw me off because one of the things that so she said that she was a lawyer, and which put her directly in the line of the Fed saying that you was impersonating a lawyer. Okay. Scratch that. Because I just said, like, the judge admitted on record, and also the prosecutor was throwing it in her face that she had this extensive history. So it threw me off, like, okay, well, why would she be talking like this? And this is when I get into the way she represented herself. And as I grew more knowledgeable in like case representation, because I had to go through like pro se court for myself. That's minor. Been doing things like that, and I read law, and I actually just other stuff over this year. We're not talking about that right now. But I grew so much. I look back and I'm like, she wasn't saying anything to represent her situation in the situation correctly. She was talking about the UCC registry. She was talking about how everybody is free according to this agreement that was between this Chinese king and in the United States. Like, they bought everyone's freedom, and everything on the UCC registry is done away with. Okay. Any debt that is like put on the UCC registry is allegedly done away with. Okay. This is what she was saying in this particular trial. So I'm a little thrown off here because I'm like, okay, what are we representing here? Okay, but at this time, I'm not thinking like that. I'm just seeing her being railroaded, like they just throwing stuff out. I'm watching the jurors like basically wanting to go to sleep. Didn't want to hear nothing she would say. She was representing herself. And then they had a lawyer, acting lawyer for Randy, and they were kind of like bouncing off each other. So what ended up happening is that Randy had to have a separate trial or a separate court date when they lost to liquidate the RVs, because they were considered like stolen property based on that wire fraud. Okay. Because the way she represented it, she didn't say, okay, it's secret accounts. The same way Harvey Dent said it. She didn't say that at all. She didn't say that, we're debt slaves. I didn't hear none of that come out of her mouth, maybe because I missed the first day or 2 days of the trial, but I didn't hear that. So that was like why I was thinking this was some type of psyops to highlight that I was the only person out of all of these thousands of people to come up to see if this shit was real. Not Harvey Dent, not none of the other content creators who were talking about this freedom and TDA accounts. None of them went to see what was going on, but they had allegedly used all this. Some successful, some not. I don't know how I was the only one to drive myself up there and see this and witness it. Okay, so I talked to Heather and Tucci, not in like personal details, asking her questions. Like, it was so weird because the court will go out for a court lunch break and we all have to break. And I'm talking about the prosecutors, her side, defense of me, and all the people watching. And there were FBI agents at this trial that took place. And I'm sitting there with my black self, with my kids, just watching. And I'm like, why is not a lot of people here? And I'm so emboldened, knowing my situation, I'm still there. God be the glory. God be the glory. He got my back, And that's why I want you guys to be like, be safe, because you don't know what could have happened. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what you could lose behind taking a chance like this. I know y'all like, oh, they owe it. But do you have proof? That's what I learned. One of the main things that I learned in this situation is that you always have to have proof And A plus B plus C plus equal D. And if it do not, you got to question the narrative. Okay? Now, as I stated, her and Randy were found guilty. I'm gonna pull up this page. I know I've seen on Dame. It's just because I really like don't want to talk about this, but I got to. The spirit is telling me I have to. I want to send a shout out to Rumble because I don't even know if y'all know about these secret accounts. Okay. And I feel like if a lot of people are in situation financially binding, they may do this and then find themselves in the belly of the beast while you're searching for freedom. Like we all are. All our souls are searching for freedom no matter where we came from. Okay. So to run into something like this and to know it feel like it's crookedness in America, and I know they're using our energy for our taxes. They owe us, I understand, but I just have to disclose. So she and Randy end up being sentenced, I think about 4 5 years. She got released to the halfway house sometime about a year and a half ago. Heather Antucci. I haven't like followed up on Randy Bean. He was an older man. Okay, let me pull the pictures back up. Let me pull up because if you search this, you're gonna be able to see it. Now this is crypto news. This is the page that I hated. Now I'm keeping it real. I didn't like this dude. I was like, yo, you FBI. You over here trying to fuck up our freedom. You trying to fuck up our freedom. That's how I felt. I felt like that. But then I look back and I'm like, man, trying to tell us something. So, but I didn't like his, view, but I can't discriminate, Maybe you don't like my view. So I'm gonna put his channel in the description so y'all can look at it and go to the most popular videos, and that is the videos, the federal indictment charges, arresting U.S. as you are using your social security secret account, Federal Reserve transfer are intimate, final and irrevocable once processed. So he put this up, but he gonna, kind of talk about it because some things were happening at the Federal Reserve Bank. They were making changes, and people like me and them were like, yeah, they making changes because the secret accounts is gonna be free. Nasara. We're gonna get all into that. It took me down the road of Nasara. Yes, it took me down the road of Saint Joseph. I think I learned about him. And then I started, I got my Black Laws Dictionary. I was like, I'm about to learn about this. I'm gonna get my freedom. I have been in court before in Jersey, like ticket court, and it was much different than coming to court out here in Georgia. They like monsters. So I tried to go, let me tell you. So this is after the accounts. Okay. So now I told you my experience with the accounts. Now I'm gonna be honest. I didn't receive a lot of repercussions from it, but my repercussions, I believe, is the censorship that I have going on, and the trials and tribulations that I went through, that I'm really trying to come out of now in my life because of learning about these counts, going a different route, and just like mind blowing, like with some of this blow your mind and just take you somewhere else. So Heather Ann and him is doing their time. I told you she got out about a year and a half ago. You can do research that, and that is regards to those secret accounts. Now, what I will go into now is how those secret accounts grew me a little bit. It grew me because it made me start to think about stuff, because they were saying concepts like, oh, your status, you're a debt slave. When you're a U.S. citizen, you are subjected to the United States debt without question under the Constitution, which is true. You be like, yo, that shit is true. Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, can't nothing but death and taxes. These things make sense in your head, and that's how they lure us in there. And then they go into this sovereignty, and they talk about how everyone should be sovereign, and that is a phrase that has been tagged and dinged in the courts. It's something I recommend you do not use. Do not use. They will hold you in contempt on GP just because. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of talk about that because with this information, it led me into being held into contempt in court. Okay. Because I presented some questions. See, I try to do it a little bit different. I was like, boom. Instead of telling them like, you are doing this to me, you the judge is crooked. This is a kangaroo court. All of this stuff comes up when you learn about this. It take it down the yellow brick road. I'm not a debt slave. I'm under the covenant of God. Which I believe in all of the concepts. So me as myself, like, okay, got this ticket that I know I don't deserve. But I'm about to ask the validity of the office. I'm about to ask the validity of the courts. I'm about to ask these questions like, do you do this? I'm asking some of the things that I researched and pulled it into my response to the ticket. Took it. Okay. So I responded before we had the initial hearing. So the judge was ready for my ass because we in Georgia. I'm not the only one to know about this sovereign movement. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them are not my skin complexion. So when I came in there, he was like, let me find out this. Okay, I don't give a damn. I'm just going to get her anyway. I'm getting all these. Because anybody who come in there that's starting to edit, most of them, and they show you some videos, you're like, yeah, this judge just stood down. Please. Some judges really, and I'm not saying they have the ultimate power. No. Because I do believe God has ultimate power. And he changed hearts, he changed situation. But when we in their courts in the belly of the beast, and you done subject yourself to that shit, you subjected. Don't go in there. You better let them allegedly let them find you. When you go in your court, you're just sitting there. It's a whole new ball game. Okay? It's like you're stuck. I'm just keeping it real. So I went in there like I'm about to plead, not even not guilty. I'm going to plead, I don't understand. Because I was trying to figure out what type of court is this. First and foremost, you charged me with almost a misdemeanor for a stop sign ticket. And I didn't harm anybody. No one lost their life. Now I have these frame of thoughts in my mind because I've doing my research. Care party creditor, Heather Antucci. Even after she went to jail, I still was like, let me see. I know something is true about this though. Okay? I'm just going to do it smart. I ain't going to just be doing stuff. I'm going to ask some questions. So when I went up there, he asked me to come up to this thing. When everybody was like, guilty, not guilty, no low, my ass. He's like, ask Lashley. Yeah, I'm like, yes. He's like, come up. I'm like, okay, I'm special. I'm about to get this ticket thrown out. My daughter in the court with me too. The kid, my daughter, she was probably like, same one who went to the trial. She watched this too, traumatized her ass. And I said, wait, I got to think about this. Okay. So I went up to there and he said, I received your files and I'm about to address them. Dismiss. And I asked questions and I'm like, dismiss what? Like, he's like, the only thing that you can do here right now is tell me if you're guilty, not guilty, no low or what. I said, but I don't understand because I'm trying to figure out what court. He said, in contempt. I couldn't even finish the damn sentence. I was calm, cool, collective, dressed nice, professional. My daughter was in the court with me. I thought I had it down pat. I was about to get some questions, answers, and my ticket. I was about to figure this shit out real quick. Ching. He like, yeah, she figured it out. We discharged her ticket. I thought that was going to happen. Oh, my God. My ass was in the back. Okay. They didn't put me in the cuffs. Did they put me in the cuffs? Yeah, I think so. They was like, chink, put me in the cuff. My daughter bust out, start crying. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. God told me to tell y'all this story. I got to tell it. So I'm in the back, like, oh shit. God, get me out of here. This is crazy. I'm free. That's all I'm saying in my head. I'm free. I didn't do anything. I'm free. I'm free. About 15 minutes later, the judge was like, you asked somebody to call pick up your daughter. I was like, no, I have nobody. I'm out here by myself. I'm like, yo, these niggas know to lock me up. Oh, shit. I'm a nurse at this time, too. Okay, thank God I got to go to work that day. They put my daughter in the back into like a conference room. She called my father, and me and my father kind of estranged because he left me out here by myself. That's a different story. So he's kind of still talking. He was like, "What the hell?" And she holding in contempt. All my daughter's like, "I don't know what happened. She just asked a question, and then they just put her in handcuffs and took her to the back." She wasn't yelling because they used to me like telling people about their business. They was like, "Was she just yelling at the judge or something?" Like, no, she was not. I don't know what happened. My daughter was freaking out. Okay, she could tell you this story. Okay, if I can ever get her to testify and tell a story, she would. I won't show her face. I would. I'm gonna upload it because we gotta release this. So he came back out. He was like, "Come back out." And he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Are you guilty? Not guilty? No. I don't want to hear any other answers or any other phrases. If you do, I'm gonna hold you in contempt." I understand the sovereign movement. And I said, wait, I didn't say anything about sovereign movement in my paper. Something from the beginning made me say, never say that. But I did mention my covenant over God, under God, and being free. And they didn't like that shit. And he was like, I'm talking. He was like, "I can put you right back there, ma'am." I was like, "Oh, shit. I'm going to ask you again. Guilty, not guilty, or no. Now, this is for a damn stop sign ticket. Okay? I'm like, fuck, my ego's so big. I don't want it because I didn't do it. I felt like I didn't do it. I know I didn't do it. This was the perfect time to fight for my freedom. I said, not guilty. Baby, I did all of this paperwork. I learned about the is a method that you are supposed to use to put your status in a do not detain status, allegedly, that I'm going to show you these content creators the next time I talk about this. My next time I talk about this is going to be the people pushing the mix-up information. Okay, so there's so many different people pushing bits and pieces of this information that you'll think that you on, like, I got this. Hell no, you be in deep doo-doo. So I end up taking it to trial. I did all of these filings. And I learned a lot from that particular court case. I learned that if jurors are not educated, I learned that if the judge has 2 prosecutors against you for a traffic ticket, he must have knew. He said, she knows something. We about to get 2 of them. I knew something, but I didn't know nothing. I knew something because I knew how to put papers together as far as research, but I didn't know what I was really totally talking about. I still don't know about all of that stuff. Okay, I'm just being honest. But something that I put made him say 2 prosecutors. I stood my ground. He blocked me every which way. Like when I was talking, you can't say that. This is a judge. I'm like, huh? Like just intimidating me, everything. You can't say that. But I wasn't saying anything about sovereign. I was just talking about the particular incident, the validity of the officer, things like that. And when the jurors went back to see, because I hold the jurors up for 2 hours for a traffic ticket. They were not happy. I was found guilty. Had a little fine. Got a lot of stuff to do today, but this is what I did instead. I had a fine. I was like, fuck, I lost the case. And I felt some way because I knew I didn't do it. But then this whole thing that I did didn't work. But it was okay, kind of, because I took it as like a step towards knowledge. Like I understood a little bit more about pro se, like representing myself in a highly disturbing court system. Okay, Jersey was nothing. I was in Jersey court system like every week when I was like 18, 19. Tickets. And I used to come to the bell and, hey, they're like, hey girl, you here? I'm like, oh Lord, I'm about to beat this ticket this time. Like it was different here in the South. Oh my God. They out for blood. I mean, you're going to jail. They're putting you on papers just for traffic tickets. So I noticed that my mouth dry, excuse me, because I've been talking. I noticed that. So that made me really want to fight for my freedom. Because I'm like, the first thing they told me about Georgia is when you move to Georgia, they put everybody on papers. I said, wait, no. I'm a nurse. They didn't put me on papers. They said, everybody. I said, oh, shit. So that's what really heightened me wanting to fight my traffic ticket. And that was my outcome with me starting to kind of ask the judge these questions about, okay, are you making money off of these trials? Can I discharge this? I was asking those questions. I still have the paper. I may read it to y'all, but they really are a lot. I'm not gonna go into that. But I talked about, do you make money? Can you cash this off of my bond and da da da? And is this true that we have a account that you can discharge? I like, it was like, not is it true, but it was more legally. Like, I took concepts and then I put it into a question form. So you couldn't be like, she said this. I said, no, everything on that damn paper was questions. Okay. I knew how to do it. I'm not no fool. Come on now. How do you think I made it through nursing school? I had to be what they wanted me to be. And I had to figure this out. So that's what happened with that particular situation. I then started to look at, okay, this is really was an eye-opening moment. And this is where I'm going to sign off at before I go, because we got another section. Like I said, probably next week, we're going to go into the people pushing this mix of information. We're going to go on accepted for value. We're going to go to 1099 process. We're going to go to do not detain list. I know about all that, baby. I went to seminars with some of these motherfuckers. They wasn't even making no damn sense. And because I was asking them questions, some of these motherfuckers getting mad at me. Okay? I'm telling you, I was following some of these people for 2-3 years, but I wasn't doing mine like the way everybody was doing this. I was really like, I gotta learn this, I gotta figure this out, because I really want to be free. I know the freedom that I like, okay, the bondage that I feel, I can't say it's different from the average American or the average Anglo-Saxon or Caucasian, but to be double jeopardy into slavery as a Black person, then slavery as a system person, is like, you know what I'm saying? It really made me want to be like, wait. So it made me then move on into nationality, because it said to me, okay, your status is under the United States. They own you because you say you are a United States citizen. United States is a melting pot. A lot of people in the United States have original land that they are from. Chinese, China. Japan, Japanese. South African, you from South Africa. German, you from Germany. I'm telling you, talking to a lot of my Caucasian nurses that I work with, I'm talking Caucasian or white, whatever you want to be call yourself. I'm trying to be politically correct because people are confused about this, but whatever, we'll talk about nationality. I learned a lot about it. We all need to know our nationality. And I work with some nurses. I'm like, where you from, girl? Because you know you ain't white. Because this stuff made me understand this, because I know I'm not Black. It made me realize Black is not a place. So once I realized Black wasn't a place, I said white not a place either. Hold up, wait. And I said, wait, I think we all fucked up now. You know, I started really thinking like, okay, people are in situations and they think they doing good, but you kind of like ain't got no connection to nothing either, unless you know your nationality. So I asked my fellow nurse, I said, so what's your nationality? Because you know you're not white. She's like, well, my family's from Germany. I said, well, yeah, you got German nationality. Just because you was born here, you have an ethnic background to Germany, and that'll help you with your health. Now, I learned this. I took all this information and just across the board. You're understanding where you're from makes you understand your genetics, understand the pattern of your ethnicity, eating pattern, health patterns, and you can start to correct that. Some things that wasn't in that geographical area that you now subjected to. I'm kind of going into the nursing stuff, but you see what I'm saying? This thing has led me down a yellow brick road. Now, I'm not going to go more into nationality. Y'all know what I'm going to talk about next week. I'm going to show you all the various content creators that's pushing this. I'm sharing this information because the Spirit is saying it's time. It may be a lot of people that's actually going to start doing this again, because as I look at those comments on that video, people like, yeah, I tried it. Yeah, I want to do it there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. Okay, this is why God said do this. Now, as far as me being brown and melanated, I want to share this with the people is a word from Dr. Umar, and he talks about where Black people are mixed up at where they are from. Now, not only is it a benefit for you to know where you're from for health wise, but if something ever was to happen to the United States, having dual citizenship to a country that you have bloodline ties to will not only allow you to have more ways to travel back and forth openly, but also gives you a level of protection of rights, because now you are a dual citizen and you fall under their rights. So as white people and Black people, we ain't connected to nothing but America, United States subjectively. And that is truth, I believe. That's why I want to talk about this, because I could tell people there's a underlying truth, but you know what they do? They give you the truth with a whole lot of mixed information. And one of the last things I want to just say is one of the reasons why I felt like this was not a correct method to use, because I said to God, I said, okay, if I do this, I get it right. I free myself as a debt slave. I don't use the social security number. I create my own entity. This is something down the line that we're going to talk to you about, because my brain went down to the left. Not to the left because it grew me now, allow me to create businesses, understand the concept of businesses, understand the concept of taxes. But I said to God, if I get free, and we do this in the United States, we got computers, we got paperwork we sending in. How the hell is the other country and the other people who not free, who in slavery, just like us, to their government, is being free? Because they all supposed to have an account that's connected to the big old Federal Reserve, not this, because Federal Reserve is America, but all of those other countries had big reserve banks that's allegedly connected to the same families. Allegedly. So some of the things that you find an underlying truth in this shit and make you snatch to it like, wait, this is the truth. But then they set you up into a rat race and a trap. So I said, this cannot be true if we all cannot be released in humanity. I mean, white, black, purple, green. I don't care. If you have a heart for freedom, you're not harming humanity, and you want to do right by people, you deserve freedom. So that's what made me look at this like, this can't be it. This shit can't be it. First, Heather, when I went, you went to jail. And Harvey Dent, let me just say this, and I meant to add this. That man, Harvey Dent, that I showed y'all in the beginning, never showed up a day in court. No charges was put against him for inciting this type of financial fraud. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. And he was steady calling people, FBI, causing all of these chaos on YouTube. It was really crazy. My page went viral. It went viral. And I told my story. I kept, uploading. We're going to talk more about it, because when I talk about these content creators that I came across, it's going to tell you about the time when my page was up and viral. Like, that video went to like 600,000. And them people who were doing the movement, they was like, oh, she's buying subscribers. They were starting drama. And I was like, what type of fucking chaos am I in? You see what I'm saying? But we ain't going to talk about that. Let's get into why Black people are confused. Now, this is to my people about who they are, and when it comes to us actually having slavery really happen. Okay? Now, I bring this up because in my development, I had to learn where I was from. I had to learn where my people were from, being a descendant of Haitian people and being a descendant of people from Barbados and being born here. And it was a little bit easier for me to backtrack through the slave ships and family lineage, talking about Igbo and things like that. But some people are mismatched. They're confused because there's so much propaganda being thrown to us. So in later broadcasts, we're going to talk about nationality, but I'm just introducing this and want to close off with this, because we are severely mistaken, Black people. And Black people, I'm just saying, if you're going to do this, you need to realize you're going to put yourself in even in the worst situation. And I'm all people, but self-preservation, y'all self-preservation, it is what it is. Black people, you are not Black. White people, you are not white. This is one of the things that this account showed me. You like, dang it. He showed you that. We got more to show you. So listen to Dr. Umar while we sign off today. Thank you for being here with Grace Levi. And my disclosure of the secret accounts of my actual
there were African.
Hold on, my actual encounter with it, and then why am I here now sharing my story with you is because I want to make sure you guys make the correct decision. You're gonna do what you want to do. But it looked like this thing's about to spin around one more time. And now they have a precedent, though. They have a case where somebody went to federal prison, so they could use this case in any single state in the United States against somebody. So be careful with the things that you do, okay? Be honorable. Now, listen, my issues with Blacks who say they never came from Africa. This is Dr. Umar. I want to share this because at the end of the day, this is Urban Politics on Rumble, and we're going to focus in on urban issues. Let's get it.
Just wanted to know your opinion. Do you believe that we really came here on slave ships, or do you believe that we were already here? There were Africans already in America. There were African kings who wrote extensively about their journeys to America. So it's no myth that Africans were already in America. Yes, we were here well before the white man. Christopher Columbus described us to a T in his own journals. He said he saw Black people who looked just like the ones he had seen in West Africa. Remember, Columbus was in West Africa first. He actually spent the week at one of the slave dungeons in Ghana. I forget if it was Elmina or Cape Coast. And it was while he was in Africa that he was given a map that showed him how to get over to the so-called New World. In Africa, they knew that there were 3 currents, 3 water currents. One takes you straight across to North America. Another one takes you to Central America and Brazil. And the bottom current takes you to the Caribbean islands. So he didn't discover. We told him how to get over here. You see, wow. My issue with, now to your question about the slave ships, one of the first things that they did post-slavery was destroy all the relics of slavery. My family, I'm related to Frederick Douglass by blood. My family was owned by Colonel Lloyd of Maryland. The University of Maryland is actually excavating where the slave quarters once stood in the back of that house, which is still there. And it still looks pretty much like it did then. The slave quarters are no longer there. Does that mean they didn't have slaves? Of course not. They tore it down because it became a badge of shame and embarrassment. You follow? But when the University of Maryland excavated, they found relics of the enslaved Africans right there in the area where the barracks stood. Many of the slave ships were destroyed, but there is a project. Somebody sent it to me last week. They charted every single slave ship, almost everyone, hundreds of, they got the name. They went through the logs. Somebody went through the logs. They got the name of every ship, the date, where they deported from, where they went to in Africa, and where they offloaded the car. How many lived, how many died. So we even have the database now. Mm-hmm. We have the database of the slave ships, who they carried, the names of those that they brought, how many they brought, who died. So it's without question that we came over on ships. But were we here before? Absolutely. My issue is with these pretendian ninjas. I call them pretendians, not Indians, pretendians, yeah, who run around telling people that they never came from Africa. They originated in other words, they claim that the North or South American continent is a cradle of human civilization, that God originated man on North or South America. Well, show me the proof of that. There's 6 stages in modern man's evolution. And no, we don't come from monkeys, but we did evolve from a more primitive to a more modern, never a monkey, always a man. 6 stages of modern man. There's only one continent where you can find all 6 stages of modern man. Guess what continent that is? Africa. No other continent can you find all 6. In fact, in North America, you can only find one, Homo sapiens sapien. That's us, the most modern man. In Asia, you can find the last 2. Nowhere can you find all 6 except Africa. Do you know what that means? That means when we was in that first stage, we were still in Africa. Second stage, still in Africa.
Yeah.
Third stage, still in Africa. Fourth stage, still in Africa. Then we get to the 5th stage, we leave and travel around the world. We get to the 6th stage, which is our present stage, Homo sapiens sapien. We leave and we travel around the world. If man originated in North America or South America, show me 6 stages. You can't, because man didn't originate here. That's just black people who hate being black, who trying to change their origin and their identity. But I would say this, that's not going to stop until black people become a global superpower again. See, the reason why you got African Puerto Ricans calling themselves Latinos and African Dominicans calling themselves Latinos and African Cubans who call themselves Latinos is because they're not proud of anything being black. The reason you got black people calling themselves Cherokees and Choctaws and Seminoles and Native Americans, they don't see nothing proud in being black. The reason why black people will find out they got a white grandma and now they think they 80% Irish all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a reason to be proud to be black.
Yeah.
The minute we make being black a badge of honor,
Yeah.
everybody comes back home.
If they say so. Okay. Now we're just going to get to this real quick. I want y'all to finish off and listen to this video, getting back to the actual topic. But I want black people to kind of think about some things. We're going to watch this video of Harvey Dent, okay, with his old crooked self. And this is brought to you by Crypto News, okay? So I want y'all guys to watch this full video, and that's going to close us off for the day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto News. We have an update from Harvey Dent. A lot of you guys may have known Harvey Dent from the very beginning and what his movement was about. He has an update from when he deposited a check into his bank account, and then he goes back to his bank account to find out exactly what happened and why his account was restricted. Now, the only reason why we are sharing this video is because it shows proof to you are like the holder of the account. Your name is on the account. Your first, last name, all caps, is actually the account on the Federal Reserve. Now, this is proof through the bank representative, the person that actually handles all of these wire transfers. Now, she's not just a teller. She's actually somebody that, you know, processes these transactions and verifies them. So let's hear now what the conversation between Harvey and the bank representative was.
So that check that we deposited, when we tried to collect it from
Federal Reserve.
Yeah, came back as altered and fictitious.
Altered and fictitious as far as the
Like,
check,
yes,
or
the check.
now when you processed it through ACH, there's 2 points of authentication, correct? The account number and the name on the account.
Yes, and they do a little more research, like when it comes to the signatures. They look at the paid account, but they didn't give us our funds. The Federal Reserve Bank, they did not give us our funds, so they returned it, and they would not allow us to do so.
They wouldn't
You
allow
hear
you
that?
to do what?
To collect the funds.
Okay, but
You hear that? This is something similar that people were going through, and this is what made people go in a frenzy to use this.
the name on the account is the same name as here.
Yes. It's
so
just
that's
the check. They said
yeah,
that it's altered. It's on their end, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so.
that's I understand.
Okay.
But well, basically, what I'm doing is I'm investigating because the Federal Reserve, whether you know it or not, has an account in all of our names, worth millions, maybe more. And I've been able to pay bills. I paid like $2,600 in PG&E. I got a AAA card with it.
Yeah.
So I know the account is there. I know the account is in my name. And I'm looking for like just some information I can gather from it in order to, because I know it's a trust account.
Got it. Okay.
Because well, the birth certificate when you're born, they basically kill you on paper. and create a trust in your name. And,
Uh-huh.
and then, like, I don't know how much they put on you at birth, but it builds throughout your life. And, it's and, there's really no money. There's only credit and debits.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I also have a transfer, an amount inbound. It should be around $4,000.
Let's see.
So that should cover the 500 that I took out.
That one was returned as well.
What was returned?
That 4,000. It looks like it was returned.
Why was it returned?
Let's find out. Let's call.
That shouldn't have been returned. That was from a good source. I mean, it was come inbound, so it should have been returned.
Hi, pull up an account and explain why an ACH was returned. It's okay. There.
Because you can fake for a long time, but one day you're going to show yourself to be a phony.
That's for sure.
You know what I mean? And that's what these, a lot of people are doing these days. Watch people.
No. You probably won't be here right now.